Hey guys, Traveling Kimchi here, and this is the US versus Korea Ideal Beauty Edition. So, most of you probably already know that Korea is the #1 country in the world for plastic surgery, with most of those surgeries being for the hair or the skin. So if Koreans are changing their looks, what are they changing them to? Well, that's what we're exploring today with the ideal Korean beauty type. So let's start with the face. #1, eyes. So when it comes to eyes, Koreans actually prefer the Western eyes because they stereotype Westerners with big eyes, and Koreans love big eyes. And one of the plastic surgeries that are really popular for eyes is hangapul. So hangapul kind of translates roughly to double eyelids, and what this means is when I open my eye, there's a fold of my skin, and with Asians, as you know, this fold is tucked under. Well, with hangapul surgery, it actually cuts it, and this fold can be flipped outside, causing your eyes to become bigger. Next is the V-line. Now, as some of you might know, thanks to an article about a tower of jawbones, having a V-line is very popular, and when I say V-line, I mean V, and the V is here. Now, I obviously don't have a V-line, I have more of a U-line, but the V-line kind of just means that the face is slim, and then it has a nice curvature down to a pointed chin. To get this V-line shape, a very common plastic surgery to get is to have the shaping of the jaw. Next is a small face. So what do I mean by a small face? Well, it's a little bit difficult to explain because we don't really give a small face as a compliment in the US, and it kind of makes us think about a small head. But we're not talking about a small head, we're talking about just the face area. And basically what it means is that your face is very small, and a good way to measure this is to take a CD and hold it in front of your face. Now, if your face is bigger than the CD, you do not have a small face. If your face is smaller than the CD, you have a small face and you're considered very attractive in Korea. Next up is skin. Now, if any of you have been shopping in Korea or online, you know a lot of Korean products have whitening cream. So I'm sure you've deduced by now that white skin is considered very attractive in Korea, and the tanning culture back home in the US is quite befuddling to them. Now, the white skin actually has kind of a story behind it. The reason why white skin is considered attractive is because of history. Now, back in the US times, chubbier women were considered attractive because it was a sign of status. If you were chubby, it meant you were rich enough to get food, and now, if you're skinny, it means you're rich enough to have the time to work out. The same thing goes for Korea. Back in the day, rich people didn't work outside in the fields, and so they weren't exposed to the sun. Therefore, their skin was very pale. While if you were super tan, it probably meant you were out working in the fields all day. But unlike the US, this trend did not change through time, and still today, white skin is considered very attractive in Korea. Next up, the body shape. So in Korea, slim is considered the ideal body type, and when I say slim, I don't mean with muscle, I just mean slim, like just skinny. Now in the US, we consider like a woman that's toned or a little bit of muscle, just a little bit of like toned meat on her, like really attractive. But in Korea, it's not really the case. Korea's not quite as into that athletic build as the US is, and so they've kind of stuck with a nice, slim, feminine look for the body. Next up, long legs. Now, if you are a fan of K-pop or K-dramas, you know cleavage is not something to be found often. Legs, on the other hand, are quite in large supply. So if you come to Korea with a low-cut shirt and your cleavage all aglow, you will be getting big gapes and stares. However, you can have the shortest shorts in the world, and it's perfectly okay. And I guess from this style trend we see a lot of short shorts, short skirts, short dresses, blah blah blah. You can see it in K-pop and K-drama, but basically because of this style or this fashion trend, long legs are considered the in thing. Of course, there are other small Korean ideal beauty features that I haven't mentioned, such as eyebrows and high nose. But the things I've mentioned, I've run into daily in my life in Korea. So I hope you've enjoyed US versus Korea, the Korean Ideal Beauty Edition. This is the Traveling Kimchi. Bye!